To find square roots, we simply need to identify the one number that multiplies by itself to give you the number underneath the radical symbol. So in each of these cases where we have numbers underneath the radical symbol, this number is known as the radicand. In each of these cases, we are looking for one number that multiplies by itself to equal the number underneath there. So the square root of 49 was what number times itself will equal 49. And in this case, we're going to say 7. Now, negative 7 is also a square root of 49, but we're going to be interested in the positive or the principal square root for now. So we will say the square root of 49 is 7. Down here, we'll look at this, the square root of 136, and you might ask yourself, well, 1/6 times 1/6 would equal 1/36. So the square root here would be 1/6. And we'll note the structure here. This is really the square root of 1 divided by the square root of 36. So we're really looking at this as a simplified form and then simplifying it one step further. Now over here, we have a negative outside of the square root symbol. So first, we're going to look for some answer that is negative, but we need to find out what is going on under here. Well, 3 times 3 equals 9. So this whole thing is really equal to negative 3. Because if we look at order of operations, there's exponents and then there's multiplication. We're going to do the exponents first. Well, square roots are an inverse of exponents, so they're basically the same thing. So we would take the square root of 9 first and then multiply by negative 1 to make a negative 3. Right? Now up here, we're looking for the square root of a negative number. So we're looking for what number times itself equals negative 100. And if you think about that, there is no such number, no such real number. Because 10 times 10 is 100, and negative 10 times negative 10 is also 100, positive. So this is what we'll call NRN, or not a real number. When we look down here, the structure here is the same as over here. We're really looking for the square root of 25, over the square root of 121. So that's going to be 5/11. Now here, same idea as with all these. We're looking for what number times itself will equal this, what's under here. Well, we have 6400, so I know I'm going to have an 8 times an 8 equaling a 64, and it's a matter of where does the decimal point go. Well, I have 2 decimal places here in my answer, which means I'm going to have 2 in what I am squaring. So if I take 0.8 times 0.8, 8 times 8 would give me 64. The 2 decimal places would give me 2 decimal places here, so that I know that the answer here is 8/10.